funny how one thing often turns up something else. A former college student on trial for allegedly breaching the private email account of then-Governor Sarah Palin. And the testimony from Palin herself centered on whether the release of those emails had caused her actual damage. The trial was not about whether Palin ever used personal email for state business while she was governor, but in testifying that she did not conduct gubernatorial business that way, she may have committed perjury. In our third story tonight, will it matter, given that the multi-million-dollar enterprise that is Sarah Palin almost requires that truth be trampled? In summarizing Palin's testimony at Knoxville, Tennessee last week, a reporter wrote simply, she denied using the personal email account to conduct gubernatorial business. And quoting Palin's testimony, we know there was an attorney general's opinion 1 week prior and a lot of other opinions in the state that, of course, it was proper for me to have a private account. By the way, if you never used your personal email for governmental business, why get defensive about whether it was a proper thing to have such an account? Anyway, when PalinGates.com asked that reporter, Jamie Satterfield, for a clarification, the answer was this. What she said was, the people at the governor's mansion sometimes sent her emails relative to issues regarding the mansion and her children. She denied specifically diverting gubernatorial issues to the account. But 3,000 pages worth of Palin's emails, released months ago through a Freedom of Information request from MSNBC.com, contradict that. Palin's personal email accounts, she actually had 3 of them, were replete with examples of government business, like the state budget, or legislation awaiting action, or a discussion of government positions. But it all may become just a footnote set against the reality of Citizen Palin, as detailed by New York Magazine. Over the past year, it writes, Palin has amassed a $12 million fortune and shows no sign of slowing down. That includes her book and plans for a second one, her 3-year contributor deal with Fix News, reportedly worth $1 million a year, and her upcoming reality show, that's a brand name, with TLC. Let's turn now to Washington Post political reporter David Weigel. Dave, good evening.
Good evening, Keith.
So you've now done your own reporting on the testimony in this case by Palin and the possible perjury issue. What have you found?
Well, you seem to be having a good night, and I hate to wreck it for you, but it's just, we need to see the transcript, but it doesn't sound like she actually trapped herself in anything here. I mean, the defense attorney, Wade Davies, was prohibited from taking this much further than the questions about the emails that were sent that had been asked about previously. She stuck to saying that it was political emails about the governor's mansion. The emails that you were talking about didn't really come up. So people I talked to inside the courtroom say that maybe she could have fudged the words a little bit less, but this doesn't seem to be a problem for her.
All right. Well, that's the correct answer is the answer we're looking for, not one that might, just as a matter of theory, please somebody who was involved in the show. But as a practical matter, I mean, does it make any difference about this industry that she's created for herself? I mean, one way or the other, whether that thing just fades into obscurity as soon as we stop talking about it, or there's something else to it, does it make any difference?
Well, I would be surprised if this doesn't show up on her Facebook feed at some point. Yeah. If she doesn't accuse people of attacking her based on a blog post on a site that attacks her. I mean, it was a popular blog post, and it got people like me checking into it. But it doesn't really matter because as you pointed out, she's doing very well for herself. She actually felt well enough at this trial to go back and do something that she has not done before, which is meet a media scrum and take questions. I mean, this was actually kind of a pivotal moment. This is the kind of thing we've been waiting for months and months, more than a year. And she got friendly questions from the press. She battered them back. She didn't wish jail for the boy who broke in her emails, but she thought that punishment might be good if somebody did something bad. So she is comfortable with this story. I mean, that's why some people think she may have trapped herself. It just doesn't look like it.
The New York Magazine expose, others have reported on how lucrative this post-gubernatorial time has been, and certainly anything questionable honesty or truth-wise doesn't necessarily end a business career nor a political career. But is Palin far more comfortable and far more profitable as this, imaginary president of right-wing America? And how does that? Do you have any assessment of how that guides her decision on whether to run for the, actual president?
Well, it's a much more fun job than being governor of Alaska. I mean, the Gabe Sherman piece that we're talking about points out that she actually had the book deal, the very lucrative $7 million book deal, before she decided to resign the governor's office. It was just that she couldn't conduct this national tour and serve as governor effectively. And that was the decision that put her out of there. Now, if you extrapolate that, there's a lot of things about running for president that tie you down when you might want to go take a jet with a couple of family members, give a speech for a lot of money, and then have a nice expensive dinner in the city you're in. That becomes more difficult. You have to eat lots of rubber chicken and appear in front of Republican committees at the drop of a hat. You know, Gabe Sherman said that she's winging it when it comes to 2012, and that is an accurate, not a very pejorative way of saying it. She's got a really good gig right now.
Dave Weigel, The Washington Post, thanks for checking into it for us, and thanks for your time tonight.
Oh, thank you.